Ladies and gentlemen, you of course already know who I am. I am the one and only DJ Storms, Mr. Controversy, the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind, the catalyst of charisma, the game changer, the puppet master, the dream crusher, and everything else in between. Now, I was not planning on making this video, but a very interesting news story broke the other day. So, I'm just going to be talking about this specific news story. This is going 15 minutes, 20 minutes at most. Shouldn't be too long. I still have a lot of college work to catch up on. I have to do some shifts over at my job. I actually have to work today. A couple things before I get into the news story. Wrestling Express meetup at Survivor Series last Sunday was absolutely fantastic. I had a blast. I got to see Glenn Davidson, Tommy McGrogan, Fernando, Rob, everyone else over at Wrestling Express. I can't thank them enough for allowing me to be a part of their Facebook group. Be sure to go join the group, not the fan page, on Facebook. The next Wrestling Express meetup is going to be at Pub 46 in Clifton, New Jersey, same place as the last time. And it will be on February 17th, 2019, showcasing Elimination Chamber. So that should be fun. Anyone who's going to be free, everyone's welcome to come. It's completely free of charge. Come on down, hang out. You can meet me. You can meet the administration members. Always looking forward to add new members and meet my fans. They love to meet their fans and group members. Another big announcement. If you didn't already see some of my posts on Twitter and Instagram, the official DJ Storms wristbands have come in. So, let me show you what this is all about. If you could see it right there, that's his DJ Storms right there. And on the back, it says Posse Member. So you can become a member of the DJ Storms Posse right now. They come in individual bagging. If you would like to buy some, hit me up. I don't have a website. I'm working on it. If you want to buy one and you don't live around my area, obviously you can mail me the money. They are $2 each. And then I will mail you your official wristband, and hopefully it will get there in time. Also, my final announcement before we get into this news story. WrestleMania 3 this Sunday, Beckton High School. I believe it is at 5 p.m. in the evening. I will be there. DJ Storm's production crew will be there. We are going to see the main event, which is Christopher Ford, a.k.a. Crowbar, versus Andrew Anderson inside of a steel cage. There's a lot of familiar faces that will be there. Bright Lights Jared Foster, Sebastian Cage. I'm trying to get an interview with Sebastian Cage. Gunner Trash, the Jersey Jewel, Steve Sterling, Lil Guido, Bull Debsey, Tito Santana. So come on down to Beckton High School this Sunday, November 25th, 2018, at 5 p.m. A lot of good matches going down at WrestleMania. Now, why don't we get down to business here? A little special edition video, you could call this. Report broke yesterday from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Dave Meltzer is currently reporting that Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins is being planned for WrestleMania 35. Now, it is unclear whether it is going to be for the Universal title or not. If it was up to me, I would make it for the Universal title. And they are claiming, they as in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, are claiming that it is said that they will be playing off of Roman Reigns in some way, shape, or form. So you can expect a lot of Roman Reigns leukemia references. You can expect a lot of them. They will be thrown down a lot during the storyline, and they aren't going to stop anytime soon. Now, here's the deal. I get a lot of people are going to say that, well, it kind of plays off the storyline. It plays off the fact that Rollins could do it for Roman, and Rollins is fighting for his best friend, fighting for his brother in arms. Look, I get the reason why people would think about that, but logically, think about this for a minute. Is this necessary? Do you really need to play off of Roman Reigns and his real-life incident with leukemia in order to build a storyline with Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, whether it's for the Universal title or not? Think about this. With Dean Ambrose and the storyline that he's got going on with Seth Rollins going into their Intercontinental title match at TLC, see, that makes sense. That makes sense, and to a certain extent, that calls for, or it is called for in the storyline, rather. Because it plays into Dean Ambrose's character. Dean Ambrose is just a sadistic dick who just doesn't give a shit. He just doesn't give a shit. He's a sadistic, cold-hearted bastard. And he just doesn't give a shit what he says or what he does. He only cares about himself. If he wants to reference Roman Reigns answering to the man upstairs, that fits into the storyline. That fits into the storyline of how Dean Ambrose just doesn't give a shit. It makes sense. The dots connect. But with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, if you're going to build a storyline around them and Seth Rollins going into WrestleMania 35, how does that make any sense? Do we really need Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman taking shots at Roman Reigns and his real-life battle with leukemia? Think about this. Look at all the other different options that you can play off of with Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. Look at the history that they have. You could play off the fact that Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins have a history in that triple threat match, that great triple threat match at the Royal Rumble with John Cena. You could play off the fact that Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania 31. Yes, it was against Roman, but remember, you could play off the fact that Lesnar was never pinned if you want to go forth and make this match for the Universal title. Or you could build it off of the fact that Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins have faced one-on-one in the ring before, back at Battleground in 2015. Only problem was, it was interrupted by The Undertaker. We never got an official ending. Or you could play off the fact that Seth Rollins, during his first Intercontinental title reign, was taking shots and throwing shade at Brock Lesnar, and basically claiming that Brock Lesnar just sits on his couch like a lazy bum when Rollins is being a fighting champion. He even used the hashtag BrockWho during his first Intercontinental title reign, and we all thought that was leading to Lesnar versus Rollins at SummerSlam. I mean, what is so hard about building a main roster storyline, a main event storyline on Raw? What's wrong with building it without Roman, or without the mention of Roman? Why does every main roster storyline have to be revolved around Roman, whether he's there or whether he's not there? Is it necessary? The answer is no. This is not necessary. I'm all for Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins, whether it's for the title or not, but it is completely unnecessary to use Roman Reigns and his real-life leukemia battle to build this storyline. I mean, at this rate, they're just using it for cheap heat with Lesnar. You don't need to use it for cheap heat. You put Lesnar in there with a pure babyface. Look at Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan turned heel literally 5 days before Survivor Series, but in that match with Lesnar, Daniel Bryan was the biggest babyface of the night. You don't need a complicated storyline with someone who's not even there, or someone who is dealing with a real-life illness. You don't need to bring that back in with every main roster storyline going on. You don't need to bring it back in with a storyline with Rollins at every single twist and turn. You don't need to bring it back with a storyline with Lesnar just to get cheap heat. You don't need to keep on reminding us that Roman Reigns has cancer, and you don't need to keep on forcing it down our throats week after week after week after week. After a while, it gets tiring. I mean, people were already complaining back in August when WWE talked about the first ever all-women's pay-per-view like 10 times per show for 2 weeks. It's unnecessary. And you know for a fact, and this is me being logical here, you know for a fact that WWE When Roman Reigns comes back, when Roman Reigns returns to the ring, you know for a fact that WWE is going to put every single ounce of blood, sweat, and tears that they have to get Roman Reigns over using this real-life incident. Think about this for a minute. I mean, they've been pretty much on their knees begging and pleading with us to get the guy, to cheer the guy. They've been pretty much doing everything in their power to get the guy over before this incident even started. We know how pathetic WWE is. We know how petty WWE is. We know how stubborn WWE is because of the fact that they just can't admit that Roman Reigns was never the guy. He was never the guy. He was never a draw. He wasn't anything special. He was okay at what he did, but he was cutting lackluster promos. The majority of the audience gave him go-away heat, and WWE just couldn't accept the fact that Roman Reigns was a failure from that first Royal Rumble win. And this is not me disrespecting him as a person. I'm not. But the fact of the matter is that his character, his booking, and his positioning on television are basically what made him a failure as a face of the company type guy. And look, WWE actually has a big opportunity here. They should have turned Roman heel, but if you don't want to turn Roman heel, then you have a big opportunity using this real-life incident. And I'm actually going to try and help WWE here to a certain extent. If WWE really wants to use this real-life incident, this real-life cancer battle, in order to get Roman Reigns over when he comes back to WWE television, don't mention him. Let the crowd miss him. Let the crowd think about him on their own. Don't keep on hammering it down our throats that Roman is cancer, Roman is cancer, Roman is cancer. We don't need to hear about Roman Reigns every single week during every single main roster storyline on Monday Night Raw, because you know that this could very well be the direction that they are headed. If they keep on mentioning Roman Reigns every time Seth Rollins or Lesnar or a big name like that is in a storyline. Because everyone on Raw has history with Roman Reigns in some way, shape, or form. And if I was to be completely honest with you, as of right now, I don't want to see Roman back on television. Notice what I said there. I don't want to see him back on television. Never said I didn't want him to get better. If WWE keeps on forcing this issue and forcing this real-life issue down our throats and putting it into every single major storyline, including this, then people are going to grow tired of it. And yes, he may get the biggest pop of the night should he return at the Royal Rumble of 2020. He's returning sometime in 2020. I'm just using Royal Rumble as a example. Hypothetically speaking, if Roman Reigns returned at the 2020 Royal Rumble and he got the biggest pop of the night, WWE could play off of that. But you see, if they hammer the issue that Roman has cancer and they try and build off every single main roster storyline around Roman, even though he's not there, then people are going to grow tired of it. People are going to grow tired of the mention of Roman. People are going to grow tired of the topic of Roman Reigns in general. And WWE could be shooting themselves in the foot. WWE could be shooting themselves in the foot and basically ruining what could be a good babyface run for Roman Reigns when he returns to WWE television. He could very well be a huge babyface, and he could have been what the WWE wanted him to be back in 2015. This real-life issue could help Roman Reigns in more ways than one. But WWE cannot keep on hammering this issue down our throats because we're going to grow tired of Roman. And if WWE could very well go back to the same exact route that they were doing before Roman even had to relinquish the Universal title. They could insert Roman back into the main event scene and build the entire show around him once again. And they're going to force him down our throats, and they could end up putting Roman right back in the same position in which he was before the illness. They could very well be screwing over Roman Reigns once again. Because nothing that has happened with Roman on television is his fault. He's just doing his job. He's just doing what he has to do to provide for his family. But if WWE wants to get Roman where he needs to be, then you can't be forcing this issue down our throats, just like you did Roman. Because you're basically saying you need to feel sorry for him. You're basically saying, okay, when he comes back, you need to cheer him and you need to feel sorry for him. Not every main roster storyline needs to revolve around Roman Reigns. There's a lot more that you can do. Don't mention Roman. Don't mention him at all. Let people think about him and let people miss him on their own. Don't remind everyone week after week after week, because people are going to grow tired of it. People are going to grow sick of the mention of Roman Reigns. That's just logical. Think about it. Would you, if you heard the same thing over and over and over and over and over again for days and weeks and months on end, what would you do? You would grow tired of it because you've heard it so many times. This is the same exact issue. WWE could very well be screwing themselves over if they want to use this entire thing, and you know they will. You know that WWE, they are going to use this real-life incident to get the guy cheered when he comes back. You know. But, if WWE really wants this to work, they need to play their cards right, and they need to keep the name out of their... keep the name out of their mouth. Let people think about him on their own. Let people miss him on their own. Let people talk about him on their own. And when he comes back, his return will be that much more special, and the crowd could very well gravitate towards Roman Reigns organically, rather if WWE keeps on forcing the issue and keeps on forcing the sympathy. Because at this rate, if you're going to build every single main roster storyline around Roman, even though he's not there, or even the mention of Roman and his real-life leukemia issue, you're basically forcing the sympathy. It's not going to work. If WWE wants to use this to get Roman cheered when he comes back, now I'm just thinking ahead. You need to let the people miss him and do everything else with him, specifically, on their own. Don't force anything. As for Rollins and Lesnar, make the storyline a lot more interesting than just building it around Roman Reigns' leukemia incident. If you build every main roster storyline around Roman Reigns' leukemia incident, it's going to get way too formulaic. Rollins and Lesnar do not need a leukemia incident going on in real life in order to build a great storyline. They could build a great storyline on their own, just based on their history together. And you could build off that storyline and build the tension off the fact that Rollins has never beaten Lesnar, or Rollins stole Lesnar's WWE Championship back at WrestleMania 31, or Rollins threw a lot of shade at Lesnar during his first Intercontinental title reign. A lot more options to choose from rather than just bringing up Roman Reigns' leukemia battle. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the only story that I had for you. I just wanted to get it out there. This is just going to be a little special edition video. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for listening and sticking around. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the DJ Storms. Do not forget to give me a huge thumbs up. I'm trying to move up in the world. We are just 40 subscribers away from 200 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 200 by the Rumble. I got to 100 subscribers back in September. We could be headed towards a huge milestone once again. The Storm's TakeOver is just beginning, ladies and gentlemen. The Lightning Flash update will be back next week. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, be sure to drop a huge frog splash on that notifications bell. That way you can know whenever I pop up on YouTube, because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. Do not forget to check out the rewind for NXT TakeOver War Games if you haven't already seen it. I'll be sure to post that in the description. Rescue Mania 3, like I've told you. Do not forget to get your tickets, get ready for it this Sunday. Come 5 p.m. at Beckton High School. Hit me up if you want a DJ Storms wristband. And the next Wrestling Express meetup will be in February of 2019 on the 17th at Pub 46 for Elimination Chamber. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Storms. Thank you for joining me, and hope you have a great weekend. I'm stuttering all over the place here. But anyway, I hope you have a great weekend.